What's up, YouTube? I'm back with another live stream. This live stream is going to be about what new targets want to hear and love to hear. And it's going to be also about fake targeted individuals on YouTube. First off, I would like to say that lie detector tests are $400 plus, and I'm not part of any organizations. I'm not being told by anyone to get on here. I don't know any of y'all. I'm not sent to say certain trigger words. A lot of technical tests are $400 and plus. So yeah, let's get to the live stream. So this is going to be about what new targets want to hear, you know, and it's going to be about fake target individuals getting on YouTube and and who's sending them and stuff like that and the reasons that they do it. But let's get to it. Um, so basically, how you tell the difference. I'm reading from something. I'm reading from my YouTube post. How you tell the difference between a fake target and a new target. New targets basically want to understand the impossibilities of gang stalking. Like, for an example, my neighbor using my neighbor using a energy weapon on me. The government gave my gangster-looking neighbor a energy weapon to use on me. So I'm gonna just let y'all sit and think about like how impossible that is. The energy weapon could still be used, but it's it's probably not who you think it is, and it could be coming from very far. And I don't talk about energy weapons and stuff like that. That's not my. I haven't really experienced that to my knowledge. Um, what's made me uncomfortable was the thought of surveillance. The thought of surveillance, the things that were put in front of me, and who is surveilling me while I'm looking at these things that they put in front of me. So what that actually is you know it's it's just it's just not impossible. New targets want to hear the impossibilities. Everybody in the world watching me use the bathroom and shower, um, especially my friends. I know they're in on it. They watching me use the bathroom and shower. The impossibilities. You know what I'm saying? That's what new targets want to hear. And I'm reading something. If it's I'm not freestyling like the last YouTube stream. I'm reading from this, but the new targets basically want to hear the impossibilities. This is why I say some people should wait before they get on YouTube. Like I was targeted since 2018. I waited to get on YouTube till about 2022. Yeah, until about 2022. I waited to get on YouTube. 2021, 2022. I waited to get on YouTube. But I've been targeted since 2018. Sometimes you should wait before you get on here ranting, or you're just a fake target. Telling people that, you know, stressing the fact that everybody is watching you and the citizens are stressing the fact that citizens are part of the surveillance. You're causing shortness of breath for people because they believe you. You're causing shortness of breath for people. Um, you know, Possible natural causes of diseases, situations they can be put in by making people feel watched in their homes. When it's a simple, just observation of that being impossible. It's a simple observation. It's a simple observation of that being impossible. And that's a big thing. It's a big thing to think that, you know, everybody in the world is listening to you while you're in your privacy. Like that's a problem. Citizens aren't involved in the surveillance. They probably involved in getting information about you. They probably involved in getting information about you. Getting information about you, receiving information about you, being dispatched to be around you. But no citizen is just turning their TV on and you on there and they looking at you while you in your house doing nothing. It's too many impossibilities. Even when you say, oh well, yeah, they probably people that have never done anything in their life or something like that. That's how I look at us. But even if you say that, there's different things, right? There's different things that make it impossible. There's different things that makes it impossible. Like just normal actions that you do. Normal things that you do in your house. Like just sitting, walking around, uh, doing anything. Normal things that you do in your house. Putting in your PIN code to your mobile app for your bank. Um, that type of stuff makes it impossible. And it just all goes to the people that can't be blamed for what they're doing. The people that can't be blamed, the surveillance, the three-letter agencies, they can't be blamed for surveilling you in your house. It all goes to them. It's not, they can't be blamed, but it's them. They're dispatching these people. But new targets want to hear, um, yeah, my gangster looking neighbor has an energy weapon. The government walked up to your gangster looking neighbor and gave him an energy weapon to use on you. Hmm. Let's just sit and think. This stuff was. I was like this too. I was like that too, but it wasn't about energy weapons. I was just thinking they all was in my, like, everybody around me was all in my phone and in my phone camera and just worried about me 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. That's what I thought, but these agencies can mimic these people by dispatching them and giving them notifications, to do directed conversations and things like that in front of you. They can dispatch them to do that. Like, they can dispatch them to do that. So I just get on here to, give people the right knowledge about this stuff, letting people know, you don't have shortness of breath you shouldn't have shortness of breath in your house, or you shouldn't be about to get up out of here because of a natural cause, because you feel like regular people watching you in your house. Because if they told you the truth, it's only three-letter agencies, possibly people connected to them. If they told you the truth, you'd never care. If they told you the truth, you would never care. You wouldn't care. But this is what you have to realize. This is stuff that you have to realize in order to maintain a good mind. Like, you'll find yourself just going crazy. Like, I used to listen to some targets say, yeah, like, I know they watching me in my house, so I sit there and like dance and stuff and do stupid stuff. Like, but that's creating a mental illness. I was just doing that today. Like, you it'll become to a point to where you can't stop doing it. Like, I had to stop responding to them when they hacking my game, going crazy, saying all type of stuff with usernames, all type of stuff. I had to, I'll be playing Call of Duty. Like, for an example, they had a Call of Duty. You can look at my shorts. It says targeting you too. The plausible deniability of that is that we playing Call of Duty and you shoot at a target. That's the plausible deniability in that, right? Too much of that though. Way too much of that. Way too much of that. So yeah, like, that's just what that is. Like, it's terrible. But but yeah, that's what new targets want to hear. That's what new targets want to hear. New targets want to hear the impossibilities You'll go like 3 years just listening to the impossibilities. Like, 'cause it's so fun to listen to the impossibilities. It's so fun to think that when you leave your house, your baby mama looking at you through your phone camera. It's so fun. It's so fun. It's so fun. But that's not the truth. But still feel important. But you should feel happy to get rid of the shortness of breath that you used to have. Still feel important because somebody is doing that to you. You know, somebody is like just watching everything that you want to do. I mean, watching everything that you do and dispatching people to, so they tell you that, dispatching people so they tell you that, so they come and tell you, um, things that you might have said in your house. Through that agency, sit back, listen, give people, dispatch people. Those people come with a script and say the stuff out in front of you. They're not actually looking. That's for you to think that it's something else. You know. But I say that every live stream. But it's just crazy the stuff that new targets want to hear. It's like, just don't even. I ain't gonna say don't get on here and talk about your stuff. I ain't gonna say that. But if you come on here just basically spreading disinformation, um, saying stuff like that'll like cause problems for people, cause people to leave their house and get in a fight. You know, saying stuff like, "Oh, everybody in my business" and stuff like that. Nah, bruh, that's not the truth. They don't give citizens that technology. These citizens are dispatched. If not, they're citizen cops. If those citizens have that technology, it's very few, and they're citizen cops. They're citizen central. They're citizen informants. And it will be very few. You might not see them people at all. The citizens that do have that type of technology, retired retired police, um, you know, retired all types of law enforcement. You know, they're trying to cause you. They the ultimate goal in this stuff. I was thinking about it earlier. It's like, if you go outside and get in a fight, right? You can, if you go outside and get in a fight, right? You gonna get in a fight. Say you go to jail for that, right? You get in a fight, you go to jail, right? You get an aggravated battery, nothing. Like, that's nothing. Like, that's a fight. You get an aggravated battery, probably some probation, right? That's nothing. But it's like the whole goal of this is for you to try to take yourself up out of here. That's like the whole goal when you think about it. Cause it's like, I'm like, damn. And for you, if you get in a fight, 50% chance you might get severely hurt. Somebody might use a weapon like a gun, like, and do something. So that's a possibility too. But incarceration ain't really the goal like that. You can get in a fight and it just be a fight and it's nothing else, right? And you get aggravated battery, probably probation for a year or something like that, right? Like, dang. So I'm trying to. I realize, like, the goal of it, like the goal of it is really for you to get yourself up out of here. That's the goal. That's the goal. Just thinking about it, it's like you're gonna get in a fight. Like, you might think somebody a perp, which I wouldn't be mad at nobody that's receiving notifications through an app to do that type of stuff. Like I said, everybody that I see on the street, I look at them. You have to categorize people. Anybody I see on the street, anybody that perps me, citizen informant. I no longer care because of that. Because of that, that's actually a fact. Even if they don't think it, anybody that plays to be in somebody's life script, in somebody's scripted to be in somebody's business, but it's a citizen informant. So that's why I stopped caring. I stopped caring. Like I don't care no more. They started going crazy now. Now that I don't care, now that I literally know what that is, like bro, even a Freemason is a citizen informant. Bro, do I need to look? Man, no disrespect at all. No disrespect at all. I swear, this is how I think. Just using logistics. If 90% of Freemasonic lodges, bro, if majority of Freemasonic lodges consist of law enforcement and a bunch of more people in society, a bunch of more regular citizens in society, including some quote unquote gangster individuals, what does that make them? If 50%, the majority of Freemasonry consists of majority cops, and everything else is sprinkled in. Law enforcement, everything else sprinkled in. You got the citizens, you got the regular people, firefighters, probably EMS, and you got citizens, you got artists, you got all of this stuff that's in that particular group, right? So you have to understand that type of stuff when that type of stuff is going on. It's like, bro, like you have to really use logistics. Like we can't even find whatever group. I know it's a third party company, could be a third party company, could be Freemasonic. I did not really, but they do. Like that's the first thing I looked at. But I just looked at them as Freemasons. I didn't have the knowledge that 50% of a Freemasonic lodge consists of law enforcement. I didn't have that knowledge. I did not have that knowledge. So I did not have that knowledge at all. You know, I used to see them a lot. I used to see them a lot, like on the road. They have, tags and stuff like that. Like you gotta, like, bro, that's basically no disrespect. I look at that as an informant stamp because I used to look at it as, oh, that's a cult. Like that's a cult. That's a cult that's after me. Like that's a cult that's after me. They want me to, they sign over. They want me to sell my soul, sign over. It's like, oh, that's a cult that's after me. Like, I used to look at that like that, but now it's like a informant stamp. I'm sorry. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to sound funny, but that's like Freemasonry is like an informant stamp, dude. That's like the number one cult group or group um, that law enforcement and citizens and other people like they sprinkle them in. Like they're in there a lot too. But law enforcement consists of Freemasons, a bunch of them, a bunch. Like that's like the majority. That's like the majority. So it's just like it's like an informant stamp. I don't mean to be disrespectful. I'm not trying to be disrespectful at all. I'm just saying, how the hell you join something that a cop is, and how the hell you join something that majority of cops join, and some people be like gangster, some people be like they got artists that's in that, all of them. Like, how do you do that? I don't know, but you know, I honestly found a way of. It'll never be me. I've honestly found a way of, like, even like I was just thinking how much a junkie could make just sitting on the street asking for money and moving around in certain places. Like that's almost more than like that's like $20 to $50 a day. If you don't, you have to give up that shame. The S word, the SACRIFISEICE. You have to face shame, but you can make a lot of money as a junkie. So yeah, it'll never be me. That's just like I'm just throwing it out there. Yeah, you'll never get me in that type of society or liking anything like that. I'm not saying this stuff is about that. I'm just saying that the amount of groups that could be involved with this gang stalking and the fact that that's basically informants. Yo, what's going on? Yeah, but the fact that that's basically informants. Like they're basically informants. They don't even know it. Like you know when that group was made? It was made in a time where, society wasn't too good with everyone being in society, if you get what I'm saying. It wasn't too, the government wasn't too okay. Freemasonry was made when the government wasn't too okay with, you know, everybody being in society as one. That's when Freemasonry was made. And you would go join that. Anyway, back to what I was saying. What new targets want to hear, and I don't know if it grows you for you to listen to idiotic people when your targeting starts. I don't know if it grows you, or if you're supposed to, it's like a level where you just immediately supposed to know what it is, because the first video I looked up was Defeat Gang Stalking Manual. He was talking about what it is. He was immediately talking about what exactly gang stalking is. He started with, these other agencies, GOV and all of that. He started with that. He started speaking about that. Then I moved on and started listening to everybody else. Then I started thinking it was a cult. But the first video I looked at was Defeat Gang Stalking Manual Official. I can go look it up right now. That was the first video I looked at. That was the first video that I looked at. So it's like, um, you know, it's just crazy. Like I think it's like a step to. I'm starting to think it's like a step to step thing that you really have to kind of go through. But nah, that's the first video I looked up. Was, oh yeah, it's about GOV. That's what we're doing it and stuff like that. Then I moved on, started looking at, oh, it's about this cult, they doing that. It's about this cult, they doing that. This cult, and all of that. But I don't mean to be disrespectful when I say that. But what new targets want to hear, um, can extremely damage a person's mind. The things that new targets want to hear. For one example, my neighbor, my gangster-looking neighbor, uh, the government walked up to my gangster-looking neighbor and gave him an energy weapon to use on me. Sit and think about that. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's like impossible. Not the fact that the energy weapon probably being used, but the fact that your gangster neighbor is using it. The government walked up to him and gave it to him and said, "Hey, use it on this person." You know, the energy weapons possibly exist. I think they're on Wikipedia. They probably exist. I'm not sure, but that's just something I don't really talk about. You thinking, another thing targets want to hear. Everybody watching me in my house. Um, they there's cameras in my shower. They watching me. You can't even take a dump. There's cameras in my shower. You can't even take a dump without somebody watching you. No, no, no. Somebody, yeah, three other agencies are watching and dispatching that information. Whatever you saying, whatever you doing, they dispatching that information out. Because let me tell you something. Like I say in almost every video, Airbnb got caught by citizens. Airbnb got caught by citizens for hidden cameras inside of their houses, showers, and stuff like that. They got caught for that and called out. Airbnb got caught for hidden cameras got caught by citizens for hidden cameras being inside of. Think about that. Airbnb got caught for citizens. Airbnb got caught by citizens for having hidden cameras in the showers and in places in the house, and they put it on the news. So if Airbnb got caught by citizens for hidden cameras, do you think that citizens are watching you in your house? No, they're not. Airbnb got caught by citizens for having hidden cameras inside of their bathrooms, showers, and houses. They got caught by citizens. These citizens weren't speaking of gang stalking. They were just calling out the fact that there was hidden cameras. So you still think you being watched by citizens if Airbnb got called out for that? No, you're being watched by uh, three-letter agencies. Some citizens get your information and get dispatched. You know, they not part of the citizens. Ain't part of the surveillance group. Not the surveillance group. They notification group. That's for sure. Just logistical, like just logistical stuff. Like you gotta keep that stuff like that. Especially when Airbnb getting caught for that type of stuff. You know, you gotta get over it. You gotta get over it, bro. Like it was very fun for me. Like it was like and since like I stopped covering my phone camera around 2023, 2024 or something like that. I stopped covering my phone camera. The reason I was covering my phone camera is because I thought that possibly uh, people that I used to know, used to have relationships with or friendships with, were looking through my camera. Then I realized the impossibilities of it, and the only possible people that could do it. And I took the tape off my camera. I don't care about no cop watching me. You know what I'm saying? And then the thing is, y'all have to understand that everything is controlled by law enforcement. Someone is law enforcement in every aspect of society. You know, someone's law enforcement in every aspect of society. I'm talking about the industries, all of that. Some of them are law enforcement. You know what I'm saying? No, man, I would say all. I would say all, bro. Like I would say all. I'm keeping it real. I would say all. I would say all. I would say all. So you have to understand, you know, that for one, you have to understand that. A lot of stuff that you can ignore, but you have to understand these types of things. You know, you have to understand these types of things. We around a bunch of sheep in wolf clothing, like I said. A bunch of sheep in wolf clothing. Sheep in wolf clothing. Imagine that. It's crazy. Sheep in wolf clothing. That's what majority of society is. Sheep in wolf clothing. Sheep in wolf clothing. Majority of society. Sheep in wolf clothing. You know, these people act tough until they, in some type of danger, especially bodily injury. you know, or they staring down somebody's gun. You know, they act tough until then. That's a sheep in wolf clothing, but that's another story. Yeah, that's a sheep in wolf clothing. That's crazy. But yeah, my next video gonna be about. My next video gonna be about. What gets you targeted. I'm trying to read the stuff that I have on my post. Stuff that can get you targeted. That's a good video. That'll be a good video too, because it's a bunch of stuff that can get you targeted. It's a bunch of stuff y'all don't realize, and you have to go into why. You know, you have to go into why. Oh, why reasons people are being targeted. It's a bunch of stuff to get into within that. But yeah, I basically get on here to, just keep people, you know, it's just been just a complete change in my life once I realized who was actually surveilling me, and it can only be informants, citizen informant, stuff like that. It's just been a great air that I have in my life. Like after that, just great air, just great air, just great. You can breathe normal, you know, and breathe normal and stuff like that. Instead of you thinking that Instagram model all in your phone camera watching you, you realize it's only citizen informers. And you just really just be cool after that. Reading, maybe gang stalker watching us from hidden camera, but the main thing is they watching us through our brain itself. Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's real true. But it's just like even with that, even the people that come with those type of things, who do you think is doing that? Like that's another thing that that can drive you insane. That can have you on the road not wanting to look at something because you know somebody looking at you through your eyes and you don't know who's exactly doing that. So you have to understand who's doing that. You think a citizen is looking at you through your eyes? It doesn't matter if it's a scientist or someone in law enforcement. It doesn't matter. It doesn't. It doesn't matter. And I'm the only people that can possibly be doing that. I'm not trying to nail them to a cross, bro. You know that you can't be. Law enforcement cannot be nailed to a cross, bro. I'm sorry, you can't. There is no, you know, law enforcement cannot be held, nailed to a cross, bro. I'm sorry, you can't. You know, taking yourself away from bunches of society, making your own God, shooting running men at times, making your own God and own rules, joining those situations just to kill people. They've been on radio talking about, I can't wait till we can kill all these people. All type of stuff. Shooting running boys, you know, shooting people that's running away from them. That's insane, bro. People don't even think about that, but that's insane. That's insane. But that ain't really what this topic about. But yeah, but if you think you're being watched through your brain, bro, you have to understand that it doesn't matter because where's your ego to people that's like that? You should have an ego when it comes to someone in law enforcement. Those people don't. They gave up on life. That's the last job that you want to do. So if it's a scientist or if it's one of them, if it's law enforcement, bro, don't care about them in your mind, in your brain, because no citizen is in your mind or in your brain, watching you through your eyes. No citizen is doing that, bro. I can tell you that right now. They're not giving nobody that technology, bro. So that stuff used to worry me. That never really worried me like that. Like they looking through your eyes. I never really cared. I never really thought it was real until I was like, they just kept trying to push it on me. Like they try to come up with new stimuli and new things. It's always a new thing, right? Oh, it's this, it's that, it's this, it's that. How I don't know that, right? but it's always a new theme, So that never really was a theme. That never really was a theme with me. Like being watched through the eyes. Like they tried to tell me that. People tried to tell me, you'll see certain things about reading people's mind and stuff like that to try to get to me. But I've always kept that at logistics. Who is possibly doing that? It's not a citizen for sure. Now, a citizen to be watching you in your house before they got technology to read your mind. So that's why I really, I never really cared about that. Like looking through your eyes and stuff like that. Like, nah, but that's straight up scientists doing that. Straight up. You feel what I'm saying? Like that's straight up scientists or law enforcement, either one. That's scientists, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like they're straight up just tech people that know how to do that type of stuff. They can almost read that regardless, even if they not in your mind. You gotta understand about mind reading. All they gotta do is watch you for a long time, especially when they're using citizens to act like they listening to you. Especially when they're using citizens to act like they listening to you. Through directed conversation in front of you about something you just said in your car, causing you to speak to yourself all the time because now you think everybody listening at all times. So you got to get rid of that. It's scientific method to all of that stuff. Got you dancing. I do it. I ain't gonna lie. I do it every day. I'm always doing some type of something stupid, mouthing something, you know, at my TV screens. I think they looking through it. I ain't gonna lie. I do that every day. But I stop. I know I have to stop. I just completely stopped today. I'm completely non-contact, no contact. I'm done. I'm not playing with these people no more. Because it's terrible to be trying to do that to some people, bro. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I'm pretty sure. Okay, but reading, I have proof through other victims who have similar symptoms like me. Yeah, that's true. But why do you care about a scientist reading your mind, bro? It's not the citizens. Why do you care about a scientist reading your mind? I don't. I wouldn't care, bro. I don't care. It's only somebody in technology or scientists that's reading your mind. Why would you care about a scientist reading your mind? Why would you care about a scientist looking through your eyes? Why would you care? The caring comes when it's like, oh, could citizens be doing that? Which is a quick swipe no. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of quick. Like, yeah. Anybody doing that, scientists, technologists, whatever you want to call it, uh, anybody that's doing that. So it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like it doesn't. Like I feel like I don't want to repeat myself. Like it doesn't matter, bro. As long as it's a scientist that can read your mind, it's okay. It's definitely not some college girl, bro. It's just not. Or some model, Instagram model. It's just not. It's not. So it doesn't matter. It's definitely not your friends. They're not giving them that access to technology to read your mind. It's only somebody with it's some science lab that can do that type of stuff. Some technology lab that can do that. If they can. If they can. But yeah. They can read. They can read your thoughts through your patterns. You know, they can start to read your thoughts by making you speak out loud. Oh, I know and they watching you. I know what he thinking now. They can read your thoughts by making you speak out loud. Falsely read your thoughts, though, of course. I'm saying this in another situation besides it being like some technologies that are doing it. But say if I can hack your phone and look at you, look at everything you do, and I got citizens being dispatched to act like they listening and watching everything that you do and say, so that you go and talk to yourself. Now you gonna talk yourself into just all day talk to yourself, and I can watch you, and I can look at you, then I can hack your phone and hack your algorithm and cause you to speak to yourself and see what you're thinking about. Basically, I always know what you're thinking about by watching. Do you hear voices in your brain? Yeah, that's always though. That's always. That's always. Regular. The regular. I guess the regular voice that's always there. Something that you can hear without saying it. Basically, my voice when I'm not saying anything. So something like that, right? But nah, though, like basically, what new targets want to hear, bro, is just the stuff that creates a mental illness over years until you find a way to fight yourself out. You gotta fight yourself out with logistics. Yeah, gang stalking is going on. Citizens aren't involved in the surveillance part. Citizens are being dispatched. Yep, they hack your phone too. All of that. Citizens are being dispatched and being used to cause you to, to extract information from you, extract talent from you, all of that. Cause you to talk to yourself, all of that. Yep. But yeah, just basically what new targets want to hear. New targets want to hear. Everybody's in my business. Everybody's in my business. You know what I'm saying? What new targets want to hear. It's not the truth. It's just not the truth. You know, that's how you get certain reactions. You don't get what I'm trying to say. By you thinking everybody in your business, they're going to get certain reactions from you. That can be down to a fight that can get you, that can cause bodily harm or worse. That can be anything if you think like that. If you think like that, it can be anything. Like that could be anything. So you just gotta understand that type of stuff. Yeah, just understand that type of stuff. Understand what's going on. Understand what's being done, and I even got down to the fact of how somebody could read my mind. Well, if you watch and listen to me all day, you can definitely read somebody's mind if you're dispatching citizens around them to make them think and giving their citizens a script as if those citizens are watching the targeted individual. You can definitely learn to read somebody's mind to an extent by doing it. I've I've gave up almost all my secrets due to thinking citizen surveillance. Due to thinking citizen surveillance, I gave up all of my secrets due to thinking of citizen surveillance. But yeah, what new targets want to hear, bro, is off the wall. it's Freemason. They want to hear that, which yeah, it could be because they're involved with law enforcement and stuff like that. Law enforcement lets them become part of their group. But yeah, this stuff is insane, bro. It's insane. You have to understand this stuff, or I didn't crash. Listen. I didn't crash out because I kind of can't. Okay, like I kind of can't. That's why I ain't crashed out. I kind of can't. Like I can't fight. I can fight. I used to be able to fight, but I got a disability that disabled my right arm. So I could have crashed out, but I can't. I can't crash out. So that's why I tell y'all. I know y'all probably don't have that going on, like a disability that's messing up something with your mobility where you can fight. You might not have that. You might be in the fight though. You get what I'm saying? Like so, yeah. It's just new targets want to hear a bunch of crazy stuff, bro. Like, oh, who doing it to them? you know, your ex. They want to hear that they ex put them on. New targets want to hear they ex put them on the targeting list, and they dispatching all these people, and they the ones that want to see their life ruined. They want to believe it's they ex. Your ex ain't calling you nothing, and you think that. This is what new targets want to hear. This is what new targets want to hear. Yeah, your ex is your ex ain't calling you, don't want to talk to you. Your ex ain't calling you, but she want to talk to you. But she's sending all these people around you to ruin your life. That's what new targets want to hear. That's so interesting. It's too interesting. It's very interesting. And then you realize it's not possible. Your ex has moved on with she went to you know she went to grab a pack of you shouldn't care, but yeah, she at the meat market, and she like yeah, like yeah, you know I ain't even trying to be funny, like, but that's what new targets want to hear. Oh, your ex is scorned, and I'm not trying to like, if I sound, it's impossible. I don't know any of y'all. I'm not a perk, anything, nothing. I don't know any of y'all. But yeah, she doing her thing, bro. Your ex, it's not. She could have put you on the list. She's not dispatching people, and she doesn't want you. You know what I'm saying? Like no disrespect. Like I'm. Well, It depends on the situation. It depends on the situation. I ain't even trying to be funny, but I remember I used to think that type of stuff. I used to think that. I'm gonna get to the comments in the section in a second before I end the live stream. I ain't gonna be on here too long, but yeah, people ain't want to hear that. I'm saying, like, bro, what new targets want to hear, bro, is insane. I used to want to hear that too. Don't get mad at me because I'm making a joke about it. You should have such uh, a turn the cheek heart, turn the other cheek heart for society. It makes no sense. I have a turn the other. I don't have a cold heart. I have a turn the other cheek heart for society. You should not care. Like I'm making this video. It's so funny. That was funny, but yeah, your ex is not the one that is dispatching these people. They could have put you on the list. Some people been targeted since birth. We'll get into that in the next video, though. That's the next video. Some people been targeted since birth. I don't know When mine started, I don't know. Like I don't know, but there's a definite reason they would have targeted me since birth, and they kind of made that kind of blatant, by other people that's doing very well, kind of in a similar situations, as me, as far as being a target since birth, for certain reasons. But if you getting some people talking about they get V2K, I don't. That's not something I really talk about. I would just ignore it because you can. It's not like you have to understand. You have to understand who's doing it. If you really feel like you're being V2K, you have to understand who's doing that, bro. You feel what I'm saying? Like, that's law enforcement, bro. So why care? Those are, bro. Those people are beneath. They're beneath you. They're beneath us. Some of the worst. I ain't trying to even be funny. There's a lot of good people in there, but they're beneath you, bro, because they're some of the worst people in society. They gave up on. That's like the last job for people to do. Some people won't even be friends with you if you go be that. You know, it's like one of the last jobs that people are doing. So I ain't even trying to be like that. That's just the truth. Go around and ask. Do some type of survey. Go ask a question. Go ask a question and make people vote on it. What's the last job you would do? Cop or this or that or this? Go do that and see what happens. Go make something where you have to vote. Would you be a cop, bro? That's the last job, bro. So that's like, they gave up on life, bro. They gave up on life. No disrespect. Somebody don't even know about gang stalking. They just get told they get told what to do. They get told what to do. But yeah, if you're experiencing V2K, I would say the best advice is to ignore it because other people around you aren't experiencing. They don't know what you have going on. They don't know that you're being hit with V2K. If you're being hit with V2K, and that's not something I really talk about. I talk about the psychological harassment that they do on here, in real life, stuff like that. I don't really talk about that type of stuff, because it's just like, you know, trying to put this technology. Your mind tries to put this technology in citizens' hands, and it's not possible. You know, they want you to care about them, and it's just not. It just ain't right. It's not. Yeah, you don't do that. They want you to care about them. They want you to care about them. Even though I don't fully understand whatever you say, but deep down here, I can understand your pain. Yeah, I try to make myself understandable. Okay. You overseas. That's why you saying that. But yeah, or somewhere you from somewhere. I'm not sure why you saying that. But yeah, yeah, like I just get on here and just speak the logistic part why you shouldn't really care about organized stalking, organized harassment, because it come in many forms of people, and you you'll realize that people are citizen informants no matter how they dress or look. And, people are. like a lot of targets say, bro, it's majority of society is in on it. You know, not majority, but a lot of society is in on it. That's the truth. But it's just like they aren't in on the surveillance part. That's for sure. But they are dispatched. There's apps that people have spoke on, all type of stuff. Like they're dispatched. So yeah, it's just cool, but it's just like yeah, like it's just like yeah. So I just get on here and try to help people. But this was a video about what new targets want to hear, and it's very funny. Like you got to be, some people just be insane, bro. Like not insane, but you new to it, so you can't really blame anyone. They new to it. They be new to it. They be new to it. You know, but it's dangerous because the thought of citizen surveillance and have you, it'll make you, it can get you hurt. By your own actions. It can have you not paying attention while you driving. Stuff like that. The thought of civilian surveillance. So it's not civilian surveillance. It's three-letter agency surveillance. Civilians helpers. Civilians helpers. Three-letter agency surveillance. Civilians helpers. You know what I'm saying? Like they getting notifications and stuff like that. But what new targets want to hear is very funny and insane. It's just a lot of impossibilities. The movie show you, right? Truman Show. They show everybody watching them. Then they got I ain't even gonna say all of that. I keep saying that. I don't want to make it sound like I'm making it about that. But they got certain people that's watching him like a movie. They got certain people that's watching him like a movie. You know, and it's just that's an impossibility. But the man that was in that tower that was supposed to be something like Truman Dad or something. With all them people in that inside of that tech room, that's real. That's logistic. That's logic. Like that's logistic. Oh, okay. That's what I figured. I figured you speak a different language. But that's cool. I try to say um, ignore V2K and mind control because it's only government that's doing it. I'm not trying to speak all slow and stuff like that. I'm just trying to make you understand. But just ignore it because it's only law enforcement that is participating in mind reading, and scientists that's participating in mind reading and V2K and all that stuff. Like it's so ignore it. Regular people aren't participating in reading your mind, so ignore it. That's the best way that I can put it. That's the best way I can put it. I'm not trying to speak all slow, stuff like that. Okay. But yeah, so I make this about an hour live stream. I did stream yesterday, but this one's about what new targets want to hear. Tomorrow live stream or Tuesday live stream. I'll probably take another day break because I don't want to get on here every day. The Tuesday live stream will be about I forgot, but it'll be about something interesting that y'all want to hear. So you basically can't ignore V2K. Um, yeah, just get back on my live stream, bro. But you you have to understand the reason that you can't really ignore it. I mean, I'm not sure, bro. Like, I'm not sure what. All right, I'll talk to y'all later. I love y'all and peace out.